Hello and welcome to you all. This is the third in the series on self-esteem. I hope you are all having a good week. Actually, I hope you're having a fantastic week, but life being what it is, we have good days and bad days, so that's not going to be possible for everyone. As I said, this is the third video in the self-esteem series, and if there is a theme to this video, it is respect. In this video, I'm going to be asking you to do quite a bit of thinking, and if you want to, you can get a piece of paper to jot down some notes or some ideas around the questions I'm going to ask you, or you can type it in on your phone or an iPad. Firstly, I want you to think of somebody that you respect. Okay, it must be a real person. Please don't come up with a cartoon character or a movie character or somebody from a book. There's 7 billion people on this planet, so there must be some people amongst them that you respect and you hold in high regard. It can be more than one person. So think of somebody that you really respect or a few people you respect and write down their names. Now I want you to think about, how do you treat people you respect? When you interact with somebody that you respect, what are the sorts of things you say to them? How do you act around them? How do you interact with them? And to help you with this exercise, I'm going to give you some prompts. So as a first prompt, let's say, what do you do when you meet somebody? You might be in a shopping mall, you might be in a restaurant, and you come across somebody the person you really and truly respect. How do you greet them? What do you say and do? I would expect your answers would probably go something along the lines of, well, I say hello, I ask them how they're doing, I ask them if they're well, I smile at them. They would probably be things that are quite polite and kind. If this is somebody you respect, I would not expect you to write down that I would glare at them and say to them, 4-letter word, off. Okay, you're going to treat people you respect nicely. Second prompt, if the person that you really respect tells you they are very stressed and very overwhelmed, what might be some of the things you say and do? You probably will be fairly empathic or sympathetic or show some compassion towards them. You might suggest they take a break, they maybe have a short vacation. If there's somebody you really know well and respect, you might even offer some help. So you might make frozen meals for them to store in their freezer so that they don't have to cook food. You may offer to fetch their children from school, so that helps them save time. Third prompt. What would you do and what would you say to them if they told you they were feeling ill? Okay, you might or you possibly would sympathize, tell them to take care of themselves. Perhaps you might tell them to take some time off and get better. You may even recommend, depending on how well you know the person and how well they take care of themselves, you may even recommend a medical specialist they go and see. a number of years ago, actually it was a number of decades ago, in fact, I damaged a vertebra in my back. In fact, I fractured one. Initially, we didn't know this, but it wasn't even necessarily a friend. It was a colleague. She phoned her physio, booked an appointment for me, and came with me to the physio, which was an incredibly kind and respectful thing to do. It didn't, of course, work because later we found out that the vertebra was fractured, and so an orthopedic surgeon had to be called. But that is an example of how you most likely treat somebody you respect. Okay, I hope you've got a whole lot of things written down, good things about how you treat and how you behave towards somebody you respect. Now, what happens if you know this person has been striving to achieve a particular goal? Let's say they've maybe wanted to participate in an ultra sports event like the Ironman or the Comrades Marathon, and they've achieved it, which will happen when COVID-19 starts to disappear. Or they've been looking for promotion, or they've been looking for a job and they've found it. How would you react to them? What would you say to somebody you respect who has just achieved a goal that is very significant to them? You'd probably congratulate them. You'd be excited for them. You'd tell them, well done. And you'd be very supportive. And you may even join in a celebration or throw a celebration for them. Okay, next prompt. What happens if this person tells you they've made a mistake? This is the person you really highly respect. They are very upset, they're very cut up, they've made a mistake, they're busy beating themselves up about it. What would you suggest to them? Chances are you would suggest, or you would say to them something along the lines of, well, everybody makes mistakes. It's human to make mistakes. It's not necessary to beat yourself up and go on and on. If you made a mistake, do what you can to fix it, learn from it, and move on. Mistakes is how we learn. Okay, and then the last prompt I'm going to give you is, what would you say to somebody you respect who you know is starting a new and exciting project? You would probably say things along the lines of, good luck, wish you all the best, I'm here for support, and you generally be a great big encourager and motivator and inspirer for the person. Okay, I want you to have a look at what you've written down. Now, I am assuming that you treat people you respect well. So I'm assuming that the things you have written down will be nice ways to speak to people or to act towards people. If they are not, you have a problem. Okay, if your relationships are not good, now you know why. Okay, if you can't even treat people you respect well, you really do have a problem with interpersonal relations. Almost everybody that I do this exercise with, though, writes down very nice things. People are kind, people are considerate, people are helpful when it comes to interacting with those they respect. Have a look at what you wrote down again. Have a look at the things you're going to say to the person, the actions you're going to take. And I want you to ask yourself, do I treat myself that way? In other words, do I show myself respect? And because I see so many clients who don't have good self-esteem, usually people look at it and it's a light bulb moment because they realize they are not treating themselves that well. People with high self-esteem respect themselves and they respect others. People with low self-esteem typically do not respect themselves, may not respect others, and they may not respect themselves or others. Not respecting yourself, showing no self-respect, is very often a sign of low self-esteem. Not treating yourself with respect is also an action that will lower your self-esteem. So you can actually make your self-esteem worse if you do not treat yourself with respect. When you treat yourself with respect, you are sending a message to the brain that says, I am worthwhile and I am valuable. So we come on to the first tool. I said I'd give you some tools and techniques to work on your self-esteem and raise it. And this first one is around showing yourself respect. So I want you to think of a number of ways in which you can show yourself respect. It could be, if I'm ill, I'm going to take time off and get well. It could be, if somebody says something hurtful to me, I will speak up, which doesn't mean shout and scream at them. It can be as simple as, that wasn't a nice thing to say. Say no. Show yourself respect by saying no to things that you really do not need to do and that you really do not want to do. Show yourself respect by asking for what you need and for what you want. Show yourself some respect by supporting yourself and being your greatest fan and being in your corner when you are going for some project and for some goal. And another action you can take is show yourself respect by treating yourself kindly and by speaking to yourself kindly. So those are some examples of ways in which you can treat yourself with respect, and you, I'm sure, can come up with a whole lot of others. Then you need to put it into practice. You didn't get low self-esteem overnight, and you are not going to fix it overnight. So my suggestion is, and I like the idea of mental gym. If you want to be mentally healthy, you actually need to work out a few times a week. So at the beginning of the week, perhaps on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning, select for yourself a couple of actions that will, in fact, I would suggest about 5 actions you can do during the week whereby you show yourself respect, and then implement those actions. And at the end of the week, reflect on how well you've done in implementing them. Eventually, like all things, it will become automatic. If you practice deliberately treating yourself with respect, eventually it will become a habit and it will be automatic and it will be something that you just naturally do. And when you treat yourself with respect, you show other people how to treat you. You show other people that I value myself and I consider myself a worthwhile human being. And I expect you to as well. So there's some homework for you to do, some actions for you to take. I wish you all the best this week. Have a wonderful week. Look after yourselves, stay well, and until next time.